Why would a medicine supposed to save lives lead someone to end theirs? In 2003, a man named Woody Witczak was prescribed Zoloft, not because he was depressed, but because he couldn't sleep. 5 weeks later, he was gone. His wife, Kim, began asking questions that would shake the psychiatry around the world. Today, I would like to explore why this can happen, not to assign blame, but to uncover truth through the lens of anatomy, chemistry, energy, and soul, the ACEs model of health and medicine. Woody was a healthy, successful man, married, athletic, full of humor and plans. He wasn't depressed, he simply wanted a good night's sleep. His doctor thought Zoloft might help him relax, a comfort off-label use of the time. But soon, Kim noticed something was changing. Her husband grew restless, anxious, unable to sit still. He wrote in his journal, "I feel like my head is on fire." Then one morning, Kim found the unthinkable. When authority told her that Woody must have had a hidden depression, she said quietly, "No, something else happened here." She refused to accept the idea that this was simply a mental weakness or a chemical deficiency. That refusal began a journey that forced FDA to issue a black box warning on antidepressants, stating that these drugs can increase suicidal thoughts, especially when first started. Let's step into the chemistry. Inside every cell, your body performs a dance called methylation, adding a tiny chemical tag, a methyl group, 1 carbon and 3 hydrogen, to molecules so they can turn genes on and off, detoxify, and make neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. When methylation flows in balance, your brain feels calm, focused, and emotionally stable. But when that cycle spins too fast, a state called overmethylation, the brain may produce too much serotonin activity. If someone like Woody already had high serotonin tone from fast methylation, then taking a SSRI, which further boosts serotonin signaling, can push the system beyond balance into chaos. We often hear that serotonin is a happy chemical, but in biology, too much of a good thing can be just as harmful as too little. SSRIs block serotonin reuptake. They keep the signal active longer between brain cells. If you start low, this can lift mood. But if you start high, your brain becomes overstimulated, like an orchestra playing without a conductor. Patients describe a strange state, restless but exhausted, panicked yet numb, unable to sleep, unable to stop pacing. This is called akathisia, a neurological side effect that feels like your body is on fire while your mind is trapped inside it. This is not a mental weakness. This is not just an anxiety. It is a chemical storm. Researchers like Dr. William Walsh, author of Nutrient Power, found that people who are overmethylated usually have low histamine and high serotonin activity. These individuals are hypersensitive to SSRIs, SAMe, and methylated B vitamins. Instead of lifting them, those compounds can ignite agitation. In functional psychiatry, we don't see this as good or bad chemistry. It is simply your unique biochemical fingerprint. For some, key to healing is not adding more serotonin, but gently calming the methylation cycle. At the Young Institute and in the ACEs model of health medicine, we look beyond the chemistry. Anatomy, the structure of your body and the brain, chemistry, the nutrients and the biochemistry that sustain them, energy, the emotions, environment, and electronic currents that influence every cell. So, the consciousness that gives meaning and purpose to life. When we treat depression, anxiety, or insomnia by targeting only one molecule, serotonin, we forgot that the human being is a symphony of these four dimensions. Real healing restores harmony across all of them. But how can you tell if your chemistry may be running too fast? If you have heightened anxiety or panic for no clear reason, if you're restless or insomniac after starting antidepressants, if you're sensitive to supplements, perfumes, or medications, if you're wired but tired, fatigue, if you have a family history of agitation or suicide linked to antidepressants. A simple blood histamine test or a genetic panel examining genes like MTHFR or COMT can offer clues. But remember, these results don't define you. This is simply to help you understand how your body communicates. If you suspect overmethylation, there are gentle, evidence-based ways to help your system find peace again. Avoid high-dose methyl donors such as SAMe or methylfolate. Using niacin, vitamin B3 to absorb excessive methyl groups. Support detox and neurotransmitter balance with folate acid, vitamin C, and zinc. Regulate stress through breathing, grounding, and mindful rest. Always work with a qualified professional before changing medications. Healing isn't about fighting our chemistry. It's about learning its language and guiding it back to balance. Kim Wischak turned her loss into purpose. She now serves on the FDA Advisory Committee, ensuring that families know the full truth about psychiatric drugs. Her courage reminds us medicine can heal, but only when it honors the full human being, not just a molecule. You are not broken. Your brain simply speaks its own biochemical dialect. When we listen with wisdom and compassion, understanding becomes healing. Please like, share, and comment on this video if you find it helpful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.